perverse calculus. It is a thing that claws at the very walls of my sanity, a thing I observe with a cold spectral detachment, the confidence of other men, how they move through this dreary fog-bound world with such unthinking, animal certainty. It is a mystery that baffles and torments me, for I know its source. I know the simple, solid ground upon which they stand. They stand upon a foundation I was never given. I never had a father who in my youth looked upon my fledgling attempts at life and asked what I wished to be. I never knew the warmth of that affirming gaze, the simple soul building sound of a parent cheering me on. I never had a mother who, in the calculus of her heart, chose me first. I was never the priority, never the non negotiable sacred trust, always the thing to be set aside for the crisis of another. And so my foundation is not of stone, but of mist, a void, as the years passed, congealing into the cold gray mass of decades, the more this sable veil of lies covered my humanity. The world, seeing only the shape of a man, assumed the foundation was there. They spoke their hollow expectations, and with every word the veil grew heavier. It smothered my equality. It choked the very possibility of a normal life, the right to marry, to have a family, to build a hearth of my own. I was reduced, I was hollowed out, and in this vacuum a dreadful pressure built, lashing out in periodic, self destructive seizures. Let the blind world call it what it will. It was not because I wanted to fail. It was because I was, by some unhallowed, unseen law, forbidden to succeed. In those ghastly acts of self destruction, there was, at least, a reaction, corporeal, undeniable result. The world would hiss, it would recoil, it would act. But when I did anything productive, when I strove for the good, when I reached for the light, nothing, failure, a damp, silent, and absolute void. Every effort was met by some unseen saboteur. Every project collapsed as if by a hidden, malicious hand. It was not chance, it was not misfortune. It was a design. I came to feel, in this ceaseless, agonizing torment, that I had been chosen. Oh, yes, I was a chosen one, not by God to be his servant of light. No, I was chosen by the devil himself, by some perverse and dreadful intelligence, for a personal, intimate, and single-minded purpose, to be defeated. But why? Why this ceaseless, intimate, and personal war? Why pour such cosmic resources into the ruin of one unseen, unloved soul? And then, in a flash of cold, dreadful clarity, I saw it. I saw the motive. I saw the why. It was not because I was weak. It was because my potential for healing was so strong. These saboteurs, these always different faces with the same demonic souls, they sensed in me a threat. My soul, in its very essence, was a threat to heal itself. My capacity for finding God, for finding light in this absolute dark, was a contagion their sable order could not suffer to exist. And so they laid their siege. They were tasked with proving my unworthiness, with ensuring the light never broke. This is my reality. And in this reality, all systems of man have failed. Logic has failed. In a long enough timeline, the mathematicians whisper, you must succeed. 1,000 attempts, a million, one must strike true. But I have not. I continue to plummet, a stone in a bottomless abyss, defying the very laws of probability. My life is a mathematical impossibility, and so faith must fail. My prayers, scattered into the cold, indifferent cosmos, have always gone unanswered. I stopped praying for myself in a final, desperate gambit of the soul. I began instead to pray for my enemies. I prayed for the very demonic souls who laid siege to my heart, thinking, in my naivety, that this ultimate act of selflessness would earn a single, solitary speck of divine mercy. What was the result? Instead of solace, the sea of madness rose higher. The negative returns only multiplied. The more good I attempted, the more I was battered. Which brings me to the final, dreadful, and only remaining question. Madness? Is this the only key left to this crypt? Is this the answer? That the saboteur is not God nor the devil, but a dreadful, lurking fracture in the very lens of my own mind? That I am not a man besieged, but a mind at war with itself? That my prayers go unanswered, because they are screamed in a language only my own, internal chaos can understand? It is the last terrifying possibility. But if this is true, if I, a single yearning soul, am truly, finally, and irreparably denied, if I cannot find salvation, if there is no sanctuary, no solace for me, not in logic, not in faith, not even in madness, then perhaps the whole grand concept of completeness is nothing but a celestial lie. If we are, as the philosophers claim, all interconnected, all free-willed souls, pulsing parts of a single world soul, ripples from one primal mover, then the argument is inescapable. If one soul suffers, we all suffer. If one part of the body is diseased, the entire body is diseased, whether it knows it or not. If I am doomed, then sooner or later we are all doomed. My unhealed, sabotaged, and impossible life is not an exception. It is a prophecy. It is the proof that the system is a lie. My soul is the fissure in the foundation of the world, a single agonizing crack that proves the entire magnificent gilded structure is unstable and damned to one day inevitably collapse.